Good morning. Good morning. And I hope this is actually going out live to everybody like it's supposed to, because yesterday I posted I was in Facebook jail for a little bit yesterday. It was kind of strange how it was working out, but hopefully it is actually going exactly where it's supposed to be. And I will say that whoever is supposed to hear this will actually be able to hear this. And I want to remind you that if you are here live, to make sure you say hello in the comments and let me know who you are. And I would love to know where you're signing in from so that I can get to know you. And, I don't get on here very often and say who I am because I just assume you know. But then I've been looking and there's new people that reach out or comment or, all the time. And so maybe today I should just tell who I am. Well, my name is Vicky Poole, and I'm a transformational coach and a hypnotist. And you may say, what in the heck is a transformational coach? Well, I have several different certifications that help me to go into whatever arena that you are struggling with and help you see a way to make a change. And so I'm a life coach, a health coach, a master transformational coach, oh my gosh, all of a sudden there's a couple more there that I just off the top of my head, they just kind of went away. So I guess they don't matter right now. Just I am a transformational coach, and my expertise is habit change, and I actually use hypnosis to make that happen even quicker. So I'm going to take a breath and let you know that if you have anything that you are struggling with right now, a challenge in your life that you need to see if there's a better way to get to the other side of the challenge, then definitely reach out. I will put a link in the comments before I get off here that actually is my link to my Calendly link, but you can message me on Facebook or Instagram and I will reach back out to you, I promise. Well, let me see. What else was it I was going to tell you? Ah, good morning. How are you? So obviously, I must not be in Facebook jail too bad anymore because you were able to pop in. So, for those that don't know me, I offer hypnosis and transformational coaching. I do that with quite a few people and can get some amazing, amazing results in very few episodes that we get together. And it's really, really cool. And I love doing it. Most of the people that I help are women that are struggling in some way with weight, with body image. But I work with a great number of people that's not even what they come to me for. So if you have something, good morning. Good morning. It just says Facebook user. So whoever you are, I am glad you are here. I guess in some ways, I'm just wasting a little bit of time to give people an opportunity to get on here. And so I am eternally grateful. And I will say, good morning, Janet. I will say that I'm focused right now on having fewer, that's why I keep taking more pauses, a few of those filler words into my conversations. And it does take a little bit of thought and actually giving yourself a good pause there to collect your thoughts, because what the ums and the ands and the so's do, it gives you a chance to think without there being this silence. That's what I'm working on. So be patient with me. See, I already did it. Be patient with me as I'm kind of struggling. Well, struggling is not the right word. Well, I am diving into this exploration of removing the filler words. I'll put it like that. All right, so I'm going to get onto the affirmation for the day. And this is a good one. I've already copied and pasted it in here and had a little peruse at it. So here we go. I trust the journey of my life, even in uncertainty. That's a biggie, right? Because most of the time when we're faced with uncertainty and where maybe things aren't going the way we had anticipated they're going, and heck, some of the times it's like you were expecting to take this right and you took a left and a right and a left and a right, and you've circled all around and you've gone all over the place, and it can just feel like I cannot believe that I'm into this place and I don't see a way out. But we can trust that that's the right path, because I've talked about it before that, we do not have the ability to hover above our lives and see, oh, yeah, I see when I ended up going in this little circle around, that was so that I could meet this person over here that could really give me some really good information. And it was so that I could have this relationship here that didn't work out. But man, what did I learn from that? And so many things that if we could be up above and looking down, we could see exactly why that was our path. So we know that with God, with the universe, that this is our path, whatever it is that we're dealing with, that's our path, even if it's uncomfortable. But we can trust that that journey is for our greater good. And I will say there's many, many times that at the end of it, I would say, well, that was great. I'm glad I learned from it, but damn, did it have to be so hard? I remember years ago, there was a time, and this is probably way too much information to share, but there was a time I was dating a man that, I really thought the world of this guy. Had been dating him for a while, but I kept getting these little intuitive things that was saying something ain't right here. But I liked him a lot, and he was so fun, and he was so attentive. And it's like when we were together, it was exactly what I wanted. And what I ended up doing was I sat down one night and I prayed and I said, okay, God, if things are exactly the way he says, give me peace so that I don't question things. But if by chance things are not what he says they are, let me see it in a way that I cannot discount it, that I can't say, oh, that's just my imagination, which is what I would do when something would say, I'm not sure. I'd say, oh, but this is so good over here. And he says this. It's great. So that night I went to bed. The next morning I got up, and normally he was out of town, and we would talk on the phone and different things. And so the next morning when I got up, normally he would call. So I called him and it went to voicemail. And I thought, well, that's just weird. Why would he be going to voicemail? And so he ended up texting me and saying, now I'm telling you, this is way too much information for this morning, but hell, I'm in there, I'm going. So anyway, I've already started down the rabbit hole. I'll just go ahead and share the damn story with you. So anyway, he texted me and said that, he wasn't feeling well, and he gave me all these reasons why he couldn't get on the phone. And so a little bit later, I still hadn't heard from him, and I text him, how are you feeling? And nothing, nothing. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I hope he's okay. And I texted him a few times and I tried to call. And so he ended up texting me again and said that he was at the emergency room and that he would message me or call me when he knew what was going on, Well, I really, really thought the world of this guy. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's hurt. What's the matter? What's the matter? And then I didn't, crickets, never heard. I didn't hear anything else. So I started getting worried. And as luck or not so luck would have it, I had actually put him on my cell phone plan probably a few months before, and we were sharing the bill. I wasn't supporting him, but I was paying the bill. He was giving me his part of the money and everything, but he was on my cell phone plan. And I don't know if you can do this now, but back then you could go and you could look at the phone number that had was on your plan, and you could see all the numbers um, that would come up. And so I thought, well, he was there for work. So the last number he called had to be the his coworker, so that he could let them know that he wasn't there to because he set up stages and all kinds of stuff. And so I thought, I will call that number because he must be out of it. Something's terrible has happened. Something bigger than that never occurred to me. And so I call that number, and when I do, a woman answers. So I tell her who I am and then I'm calling to check on him. And she said, "What?" And I said, "Well, this is the last number he called. And so I'm assuming that you work with him." She said, "No." She said, "I don't work with him." She said, "I date him, but I don't know where he's at right now." And it was like, what? And so I ended up having a conversation with her and found out they'd been dating for a few months and, on. So I got it into my mind. Well, I checked a few people and or a few numbers, and there were 5 people that I found that he was seeing, right? And so when I got off with the 5th person, I thought, I'm not calling anymore. 5's enough. I get it, God. So I said then, I said then, okay, God, when I said I didn't want to be able to discount it, I didn't want it to be this big. That's what I'm getting at. Is sometimes we think we have to have this, we don't even know what the hell we need, right? But in God, in his ultimate wisdom, knew that if I didn't see this big picture of a whole load of crap, then I would have listened to what he told me when he said it was my imagination, or when he said, "But I love you, sweetie. I don't know why you feel that way." All these things that he was able to say to me, because I really, really well, I didn't just like this guy. I loved this guy. I really thought that we might get married. And I mean, it was amazing. He was amazing, except for when he wasn't. But I'm telling you that most of the time, all the stuff that's happening in our life, it's there for us to move us either towards something or away from something. And in this instant, it took me a little bit to kind of get where I felt like, okay, it was to help me. In the beginning, it was like I was so devastated. But now, definitely lessons. I mean, it was a big, big lesson. And it really helped me see how my intuition is usually spot on. And when I had that first idea, I should have listened to it, but I didn't. What I did was I let him negate what I was feeling. And if I had listened to it, now I would have missed out on all the fun times we had, but I definitely wouldn't have had the heartache. So maybe I was supposed to go through part of that to have the fun, because I did learn so much about what I loved in a relationship. So I learned tremendous things from this guy that I can use today. I learned some communication things from him that I wasn't able to do before. And so there was a lot of great things that came from it. But when it was done, yeah, definitely. So I'm just sharing more than I probably should. That lets you know that we don't always see what this journey that we're on right now is. So if you're going through something right this minute that feels hard, feels unjust, feels like, know that there's a reason, okay? And just be open to the reason. Now I'm going to get to the journal prompt, and I'm sure because it always goes together that it has a great prompt to switch gears, right? So let's go to this journal prompt. All right. So write about a time when uncertainty turned into a positive outcome, and how did you navigate it? Now, going back to my story, one of the things that happens for me when something big happens, doesn't matter what kind of big thing it is, first thing I do is pop into action. So, like with this guy, when all that happened, I immediately started calling these numbers, right? As soon as I figured out this first number wasn't just a coworker, I started calling other numbers. And then I actually had conversations with each one of these women. And one of the women didn't live very far from me. And she and I actually met up and talked about him. And I found out so much from her about bits and pieces of missing things with him because he was actually with her and told me he was working or he was whatever. But then I realized, well, I had loaned him my truck, and my truck was in his parking lot in his apartment about 3 hours from me because he had moved. And so this woman, because I connected with her, she took me to his apartment, and he had the only key to my truck. I called my AAA. They came, they cut me a key. I got my key, and I got my truck home so that when he got back, my truck was gone. And it was like there were different things that just came up, and little things that helped me to get, I guess, I was able to work through it because it gave me task. I know he has my truck. Now let's see, how can I get out there and get my truck? What do I need to do? And because he had been in a car accident and his got totaled, yada, 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 right? And so I loaned him my truck, and I was able to get my truck back. And doing that, it made me feel that there was a sense of control for me to take back ownership of what was mine and not let him take advantage of me anymore. And so that's how I navigated that. And then once all of that was done, I sent him a message and said, okay, the gig is up. I know exactly what's going on. I also know you're not in the hospital. I know that you're with this person in Texas right now. I know about all these other people, and good luck in life. I'm turning off your phone now. And I gave him about an hour so that he'd have a chance to read my message, right? And then I turned his phone off. And it was like the only thing I could do in that moment was gather up my control, what I could control. And so sometimes it's just separating yourself just enough to see, what can I do in this situation to better it? What can I do to help me without concern for this person that has wronged me tremendously? But then not only that, is it gave me a chance to look at, I felt so strong in that process, because previously I would have broken down and been a puddle of mud, a puddle of water, and just probably depressed and crying in the bed and my head covered. There would have been so much that was going on that was not empowering at all. But for some reason, this time, I took my control and felt empowered through the process. Not to say that I wasn't upset, I was. And the thing that was really cool was, I don't know if it was because I took control in this situation or why, but I was so much, it was so much easier in that instance to not fall into that desperate despair and to look at it like, what did I, how did I let this happen? And start evaluating, what was it? What was it about him that was able to manipulate me in that way? What was it I was looking for? What did I need? And that's how I navigated that. And I worked on it for quite a while till I finally saw the gifts that I got from the relationship, the gifts of knowing to listen to my intuition, the gifts of um, knowing that I am stronger than I ever imagined. And that was an amazing gift because prior to that, I didn't always feel so strong. And so it was a gift in so many ways. And I will say, since that time, I have never let my intuition in a relationship not be heard. And not to say that it's always exactly right, but I feel like if I listen to my intuition and maybe it's a little bit off, there's still a part of it that's right and I need to listen to it. So I wasn't really planning on telling any of that stuff ever, to be honest. I did think I would write a book at one time because I'm telling you, this is just a little bit, a piece of all the things that I went through. And so make sure, thank you. So make sure you take your affirmation and you write it on your index card, your sticky notes, do it like I do on the mirror. Put it as your screensaver. Remember, the affirmation is, I trust the journey of my life, even in uncertainty, because that's a powerful one to have, right? And then your journal prompt, write about a time when uncertainty turned into a positive outcome. And how did you navigate it? Right? Because my positive outcome was that I grew so friggin' strong in who I am and what I accept and the boundaries that I have in relationships. Not to say that I'm perfect, for goodness sakes, I am not. So I am an ongoing process, an ongoing vessel of learning and discerning all the time. However, the positive outcome of that was the strength that that I acquired in me was whew, off the chain. I'm telling you. And so, in your journal, write down about a time when uncertainty turned into a positive outcome. And what did you do? How did you navigate it? Because I believe if you're anything like me, if you will do this journal prompt and you will write it with your hand and you will really, really spend some time with it, you are going to be shocked to realize how much you've grown from each one that you write down. And you are an amazing person right now, whatever you're going through. And when you look at some other times that you've gone through things and what you've gained and how you can love yourself more, then you're going to know that whatever you're going through right now, it takes the edge off of it, because it is definitely about to blast you into a new way of being. And I remind myself of this every single time that I face something. And, I'm human. I face things all the time. And I recognize, especially with working with you guys today on this and sharing my story, how much each thing I've gone through has propelled me into a new stratosphere. And be open to looking at this and seeing who it's created you to be. Right? All right. So, well, this is a good get things off my chest day, I guess. So thank you for being here and thank you for listening. And make sure, I'm going to ask you to take a picture of your index card, your sticky note, whatever it is that you write your affirmation on. Please, would you do me the honor of writing that out and sharing a picture in the group of your evidence of your affirmation? I would be so eternally grateful to both of you for doing that. And anybody that is watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And I would ask you as well to share a video, if you want to share a video, or just a photo of your sticky note or your journal prompt or whatever you want to share. Please share it in the group with hashtag peachy vibes, because it would just honor me so much. So thank you. Love you. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be here. Be here.